Welcome to the BraveTalk podcast, where we interview your favorite UNC Pembroke personalities and keep you up to date on everything happening with Braves athletics. Here's your host, Dick Christie.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the BraveTalk podcast. I am with Kody O'Connor, our senior, soon-to-be legend from UNCP baseball. Transfer from Nicholls State. We're going to get into a little bit of that. But Kody, first, welcome and congratulations on another Player of the Week award. What do you think about that?
You know, it's awesome getting recognition, but came after a big series win that we really needed against Erskine. That was huge for the team. Get some momentum rolling.
Sweep. We needed definitely a sweep that was needed.
Yeah, definitely needed. So we kind of put ourselves in a tough spot conference-wise, losing some games that we shouldn't have lost, but coming in, having a huge series like that is just massive for us and gets momentum going back in the locker room, so it's huge.
And a great win against Catawba, which is looking like a top team in the region.
Yeah,
so 4 straight there is big time heading into today's game and a weekend series.
Yeah, awesome. Big time.
Yeah, and we went a little longer than we were hoping to against Catawba, but still a great win to pull out.
Yeah, I love games like that. Those are fun. Always getting a walk-off win is just awesome at any level, and especially against Catawba. They're a top quality team in the region. They're up for potentially hosting if they win the SAC, and it was huge. So it's fun, and I love games like that. It gets the adrenaline going. You're locked in for. We played 11. All 11. I was dialed in the whole game, so it's fun.
Yeah, for sure. So interesting fact I saw. So you're one of our team leaders right now. I think 7 home runs on the year. Last year you had 12 home runs, which is a really solid college baseball year at our level. Nicholls State, 0 home runs the year before. How does that happen? For somebody that swings as hard as you swing, how does that happen?
I didn't have the most success. I always say I was more of an immature hitter there. I was swinging even harder than I do now, trying to hit every single ball out then. And, I got in after that year. I got into the transfer portal, and I really kind of honed into my work and really, really worked hard that summer. Trying to grind and get better and then figure out my swing and all that. And I worked with some great guys back home in Cincinnati that really helped me figure it out, dial it in, and work on my swing a ton. And then everything kind of just clicked. So that was definitely a big jump for sure.
Yeah. So Cincinnati, Reds fan?
Yeah, Reds fan. I'm not like a diehard Reds fan. I root for them. I'll pull for them. I'll go to games in the summer, but I stay tuned into them, but not too crazy.
I've never been to their park. Good park or
amazing.
Good
amazing.
time.
I think Great American Ballpark is very underrated.
Okay.
It's one of the spots to visit. That love Great American and PNC Park, two of my favorite.
Now, have you been to Citizens Bank?
No,
where my Phillies play.
No, I have
That's
not.
A great place.
It looks electric in playoff time too. So that's definitely a place I want to visit for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the trip. Now, Reds fan, but your dad actually had some time in the show with the Pirates, which, there's a little rivalry there as well, Reds, Pirates. So how does that all work out at home?
I pull for the Pirates too, though. We watch them. They got a great young core. Actually, every summer when we go down to Bradenton, Florida, we still get to go around Pirate City where they have spring training and the rookie ball guys. So it's cool seeing there. And, last year got to see some, big name prospects down there working and stuff. So that's really sweet. So I definitely pull for the Pirates. They got a elite young core guys too, so they're fun to watch here and there, and they're 5-0 right now. So I watch them a little bit too.
So your dad, with that background, talk a little bit about what's some of the advice he's given you about just trying to stay focused in baseball and stay in the moment, and to do it at that level is pretty rare. So it's neat when you've got that in your family.
Yeah, the best thing he does always say is, I can't brag about myself or talk about myself until I get to where he's been. So that's one thing he says. And he also has a hit in the big leagues. So he got his first major league at bat. He got a base hit. But no, he's always there for me. Every single game it's texting me, calling me, giving me advice, giving me stuff like that. And so, because he went through it all. He was playing in the minor leagues before they had cell phones and FaceTime and stuff. So it was definitely a grind then compared to what it is kind of now. It's still very hard, but back then in the 90s, it was tough. So, he's got a ton of advice. He's been there for me, ever since I started playing, but even now, moving away from home and playing away, he's been there, texting me and calling me and giving me the insight. So, it's huge in my corner to have that. I grew up having him throw BP to me every single day. So, it's awesome. Awesome for sure.
That'll make you swing hard.
Yeah.
So you're surrounded by some great baseball names. Your dad, Brian O'Connor, I'm sure gets a lot of questions about, are you the Brian O'Connor at UVA?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think it was on LinkedIn, or it was LinkedIn or Twitter, and somebody was like, "Oh, Mr. O'Connor, Coach O'Connor, congrats on the World Series victory." So yeah, he's gotten confused with that, but then Brian O'Connor from Fast and Furious too. That's one of the names, and he gets that a lot too. People will be like,
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Oh, Fast and Furious," but yeah. So then he gets that sometimes, but so it's kind of a funny story.
So another famous baseball name you're surrounded by, Paul O'Neill.
Mm-hmm.
Not we like to call him the real PO.
The real Pete, yep.
But talk a little bit about him and his help in developing you as a hitter and a player, and just what kind of a leader he is.
P.O., he's awesome. I mean, I owe him everything. He has trusted me. He brought me in here 2 years ago. He put his trust in me to be a leader, be one of those guys that step ups in the locker room, but also just be a great player. He's there for you, and when he gets on you, he always says, like, if I'm not getting on you, it's because, I don't think you're like, I think you hit your peak, that you don't have it anymore. But he stays on you, but he pushes you to have success. He wants you to have success more than even yourself wants to have success. I mean, he's over there coaching third base, and he always says that. He goes, I want you to get a hit more than you even want to get a hit. He's awesome. I mean, he's a great coach. Best coach I've played for. I mean, like I said, I owe him a lot. He's awesome.
Yeah, it's hard not to work hard when you see somebody working as hard as he is at it. Yeah. Great leader by example for sure. Now, knowing him, he's probably not said much, but what I know you guys see some shovels in the ground now, some stuff going on around the park. What do you guys know about the facility upgrades, and what has he shared at this point?
We've kind of just heard some stuff about some of the locker room stuff, the indoor hitting, stuff like that, but it's definitely well deserved, obviously, for Coach, and just the teams of the past. I mean, it's just they've done it. They've then had a lot of success, and he's had a lot of success, so it's going to make recruiting easier for the team. It's going to make everything easier, and it's going to be, I mean, also it's well deserved. Like I said, it's deserved for this program, and it's going to be really cool to see it once it's done, and I'll be proud to say I played here and never get to play on it, but it'd be cool to come back and visit for sure.
I don't know, have you used all of the COVID waivers? Maybe we can find another another loophole, get you some extra games.
As crazy as it might, who knows? There might be something out there lingering.
Yeah. No, we're definitely hopeful. Obviously get through the season and stay in the stadium, and then push as hard as we can in off season to get as much of that project done. So, exciting times for baseball and softball. Looking forward to seeing what all that looks like. And
very cool.
Definitely nobody's deserved more to see that than Paul O'Neill, the real Paul O'Neill.
The real six. Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit. We're you guys are in the grind right now. 50-some games plus postseason, but are you a fan of other sports? Have you gotten to watch any NCAA tournament?
Yeah, I tuned into it here and there. I actually did just watch NC State and Duke. I was kind of pulling for NC State, just kind of being from this area, just like living in this area. Yeah. Funny story. So my brother Cam grew up, he loved Duke, and I just hated the fact that he loved them. I hated Duke every time because, like, I was a big Ohio State. I'm still a huge Ohio State football fan, but I was also like into Ohio State basketball at that time when they had Aaron Kraft and that big team that made a couple of good runs. Mm-hmm. So he loved Duke, and I just was like, every March Madness I bet against Duke every single time. I said they're going to lose every single time, and just because didn't spite that my brother liked them and he loved them. So I was pulling for NC State, just being around this region. You're kind of close to Raleigh. It's a good town, and I was hoping for them to win.
Yeah, definitely was rooting for my Wolfpack this weekend. I didn't think I'd see the day that they'd be in the Final Four, let alone men and women.
Yeah,
that's pretty special.
That's awesome.
Only 11th time in the history of the NCAA that schools sent both teams, so that's pretty neat.
And then UConn's got both in there too, so that's first time ever 2 teams have had both men and women's.
Two at the same time. UConn men are looking pretty dominant.
Yeah,
if State gets a chance to play them in the final, that's going to be hands full.
Yeah, for sure.
So basketball, growing up, did you and Cam play together, or were you always in different sports?
I never did play really much organized basketball. He, we played baseball. Growing up, we played in our backyard. We played baseball every single day. We played tennis ball, baseball. So you use the tennis ball, wood bats. You had your gloves out there. So normally the teams were me and Cam versus my dad and my youngest brother Kyle. And, I mean, we'd spend hours out there playing every single day. And when it got too cold, we had like a skills basketball hoop in our living room. It got up to about 6 foot height. We probably played. I mean, we played every single day in there too in the wintertime up until we were probably about 14, 15 until you got too big to play.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Games got a little too physical at that point.
Yeah, there was countless times picture frames were falling. My mom's yelling about us busting something in the living room, or just a good old fashioned two brothers fighting on each other broke out in the middle of the game. So, but no, he played baseball up until I'd say 3rd grade, and then he fell in love with basketball. He picked up basketball and he always played basketball, but fell in love with it and just stuck with it. So.
Now, you guys are usually wrapping up a lift or wrapping up a game or something, so it's tough. I know baseball will get in for some of the second half of those early basketball or late season basketball, early season baseball. But your brother was kind of a fan favorite when he would get into some games. Usually meant the Braves were in the lead, and if he'd get a chance to hit a 3, it was probably some of the loudest times I think I heard in the gym. Talk a little bit about when you were able to make it in there and see him getting to compete.
Oh, dude, he's just a competitor. He always been like that. Watching him play basketball is awesome too. He just runs around. He's fast. He's just out there. He's exciting. He's like the spark plug kind of guy, like the microwave. He gets out there, hits a 3, and everybody just explodes. But I mean, getting to watch him do his thing all through high school, and I mean, because I went away, went to school, getting to come back and watch his games, like his junior and senior year, were really cool too. Seeing him shoot, I mean, he just shoots the lights out, and it was very fun to watch because, like I said, he's like that spark plug guy, gets the crowd going, gets people going. So it's definitely very fun to watch.
Yeah, Erskine this year was probably the loudest I heard our gym all year. Cam came in 3 for 3 from 3-point land, 9 points in like 90 seconds. Probably had our best points per minute of the year, but that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive, very impressive.
So we got to talk about my wolf pack, but there's another wolf pack that's impressive to you. You got a nice complement of tattoos here, but one that's pretty special. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So my great grandfather, we always had family gatherings there at their house, at my great grandparents' house with we call them my aunts and uncles and all that, and my cousins. And my great grandfather always wore a flannel. He always had on a flannel shirt of some type. It was either red, black, different ones. But I want to say it was maybe Mother's Day or something. We're there, and he comes downstairs in a T-shirt, and like nobody's ever seen him in a T-shirt, and he has on this shirt that just says Wolves on it, and it's got this picture of wolves, and and so I was just like, I gotta get that tattooed. Like that was just so cool. So that's a moment I didn't want to forget. So after he passed away, I got the shirt. My grandma gave me the shirt, and so I have the shirt, and now I got the tattoo for it. So it's one of my favorites.
And the family liked that tribute too.
Oh, they loved it when they saw it in person. I mean, they couldn't believe that. They were like, "That's so cool." So
that's awesome. Very very good tribute. Let's talk a little bigger picture. So you've played at the D1 level. Obviously 3 years ago we moved to Conference Carolinas, and quickly, partially with our move and Francis Marion's move, but Conference Carolinas has really become one of the premier baseball leagues at Division II. Talk a little bit about the depth and what we get to play against, and what do you think?
Yeah, conference series here on the weekend it's tough. It is. It's a Friday night. You're seeing a guy with really good stuff who, is maybe a transfer from a big D1, stuff like that. But the depth here is insane. It's one of the most competitive Division II baseball conferences in the country. It's up there with like the Sunshine State Conference down in Florida and maybe the ones in Texas and California. It's one of the top 5 for sure, with depth wise and just stuff wise with pitchers. But yeah, so every conference series is a grind. It is. It's like you maybe get 1 or 2 where it's kind of not easy, but it's an easier matchup than what it's supposed to be. But other than that, you got teams like Barton, North Greenville, Young Harris, Mount Olive, Belmont Abbey. It's going to be a tough game. You're going to have to grind it out. You got to get to the bullpen early, and just that's how you're going to have to win. So it's definitely very competitive, and I enjoy that because it's just, like I said, it's a competitive environment. It's fun to play in those type of games. I'd rather play in a 1-run game than a 10-run game for sure. So it's just a competitive, very competitive conference.
You'd rather be in a 1-run game than a 10-run game, huh? Rather than being up and having plenty of RBIs and everything else.
Yeah, I just love that feeling. Like, we had against Catawba. It's like where your heart is literally like I'm standing out in the outfield and I'm like trying to get my like heart to just calm down because it's just beating through my chest. But I love that feeling because it's just like I just find joy in it. Like I'm like a little kid again playing in the backyard where it's like, all right, I'm thinking, okay, if I get a chance to hit a walk off here, what's my celebration gonna look like? Like this is what I'm thinking of in the outfield, trying to calm myself down. But it's like I said, going back to playing in the backyard, those are like moments we would draw up playing there. We're like, all right, it's a tie game. Guy on second, home run wins it, and you bat flip it, and my brother's going crazy. But so playing in those type of games are just fun.
So the wooden bat and the tennis ball, are we going bounce pitch or Dad was throwing them in there?
Yo, he's throwing them in there. He was going as much as he could give, and that's definitely, I really enjoy it because he was a lefty pitcher, and I find myself having a lot of success off lefties, and I always date it back. Yeah.
With it,
Yeah, so, but yeah, it was competitive, and like I said, I mean, playing the games like those are just fun games.
That's awesome. So one new thing for college baseball that we're kind of facing now, the pitch clock. So following suit with professional baseball, trying to get the games to move along at a little bit faster clip. Tell me what it's been like with the implementation of that. Now next year, I know we'll have a visible pitch clock, and that'll be something the players actually see. What do you think about those changes, and how do you navigate that without letting it affect your preparation?
I actually kind of enjoy it. I like the pitch clock idea. I think it does. They're attempting to speed up some of the game, but it just limits guys from picking off like 7 times of one base on just one guy. I think it doesn't really speed it up too much, but it adds a little bit of wiggle room with it. So I've enjoyed it. But it also leaves less room for error, I think, for pitchers. So as base runners, you try and like get that guy to step off one time so he's got one more, or it's a balk. So you can get guys to mess up, and you can, work your lead out on him and get him to step off and mess up and have a balk. So I enjoy it, I think, and I enjoy it as a fan too. It makes going to the game like a little faster pace, I feel like. Because baseball, the MLB season, I think, is too long. 162 is crazy.
Yeah, but all the records are based off it. They're so scared to change anything.
Yeah, that's the truth. Yeah. That's for sure. But I think I like it. I enjoy it. I think it brings some fun to the game. Not fun, but it just brings a little bit of a little bit more control to it. So yeah. I like it.
Well, there's not much control when you guys are scoring 15 and 16 runs. The game doesn't shorten up when you keep plating runs. But definitely be interesting to see what comes next year, and like location of the pitch clock and those kind of things. But hopefully it'll help the integrity of the game and speed it along for sure.
For sure.
So coming up, we've got a game today. We've got a big series against Barton this weekend. On the road against Belmont Abbey next weekend. Just talk about what you see next couple of weeks down the stretch for the Braves.
Yeah, it's this is make or break right here, I think. Our locker room knows it. Barton's a huge series there. Extremely gritty team. They've got a couple of really good pitchers. They got one guy up probably who's going to be up for pitcher of the year again. And it's a gritty series against them every time. And we went to their place last year, and we won 1, dropped 2. So it kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth playing against them. And we got them back in the conference tournament last year, but get them at home. We need these 3. We really need to pull them out. A big sweep, it would be huge. Just keep us rolling, and then Belmont Abbey again. They probably are looking out to get us. We swept them here at home. We're at their ballpark, so I'm sure they're probably jacked up to play us. But yeah, this Barton series is definitely one of the biggest ones of the year, if not the biggest. So I'm excited for it. I know our team is really excited. We've been working really hard at it. So yeah, like I said, we just need those 3 games. Those are huge for us.
Well, you guys make us proud, man. It's always fun to watch, and good luck down the stretch. We appreciate your leadership and everything you do for UNCP.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, man. Go Braves. Thanks for joining us.
Go Braves.